heavy. We are all, obviously grieving this big loss, which has affected each one of us. And in the midst of this pandemic, where we've had many other losses as well, it's just a very difficult time. But I think people like Ajoy come into our lives to remind us of that lightness of being, that almost unbearable lightness of being, that we shouldn't lose despite all of the challenges that life throws at us. And I know it's not going to be easy, but I think we should all be there for each other going forward. I think that would be the best way to to remember Ajoy, and that to pay tribute to him. And Sushmita and Satoko, if there is anything that in any form at any time, if we can be of any help, please do feel free to reach out. And I just want to say it's good to see all of you. Shinde, it's particularly good to see that you're okay. Been very stressed about you, and please all just stay safe and stay well. And I think and just let's just try to be there for each other and be light. And I think Ajoy, who is listening to us, because as I said, I don't think he's left us. The ones we love, they don't leave us. I think he would be happy to hear us, and he would be happy to see us all together and sort of be the way he was. Thank you.
Thanks, Namita. I'm sorry to have dropped off in the middle. Apu?
Hi, everyone. So I don't think I have much to add in terms of remembrances, etc. Like everyone else said, it's good to see all of you, and it's a horrible occasion that brought us together, but it's great to see all of you. I'll just say that we had made a video for Mikey. Most of it was shot, I think, at our 10th year reunion, was it? When we all went to law school. So a couple of things there. One is I'd like to do the same thing for Halder as well. Maybe now is not the greatest time in terms of it's a little too close for everyone, but eventually when everyone's ready, I think if people could, I'll reach out. If people could record a small video about some story or some remembrance, then we can edit it together and make one for Halder as well. And the Mikey video is also not completely done. So if anybody wants to record something about him as well, especially people who weren't at the 10th year reunion, yeah, please feel free. So that's the only thing I want to say. And yeah, take care all.
Thanks very much.
Just one more.
Yes.
Sorry, Tarun, just 1 second. I had another suggestion, because there are such lovely stories of Holders, starting right from the year 1999 till 2021. If people have any stories, maybe we could just write them on a one-pager story, or even shorter. If people can just write something, and we can just collate all of them and probably have one document ready, because the Holders' shenanigans were legendary. So let's just try and collate them if we can.
Thanks very much, Karthikeya. I think that's an excellent suggestion. I'll just share a few thoughts of my own, and I don't have anyone else on my list. So if you still want to speak, just send me a chat and I'll add you after I'm done. I think I wasn't Halder's best friend, but I was his roommate for 4 years after he graduated from the loo room to a proper cubicle, like the rest of us. And in some ways, we were the unlikeliest of roommates. I was extremely highly strung, and Halder was probably on the opposite end of the neurotic spectrum, as the most chilled out guy you could imagine. And, he taught me to slow down in life, to relax, and to not let today pass by worrying about tomorrow. Even though, we had very different worldviews, he would always be up for doing things because I wanted to do it, like coming to the Asia Social Forum in Hyderabad with me. Our third roommate, Uttam, is here. I don't know if he wants to speak. And Uttam, you're very welcome if you do. But one of the things that was, again, legendary about Ajoy was that being an extremely self-aware guy who knew that he had limited means, but also an inability to restrain his generous spending every month when he received his allowance from his mom, he gave it to Uttam for safekeeping and would say, Uttam, if I ask for my money, check with me what I need it for and give it to me only if you think that the expense is merited. This happened for the entire 4 years in law school, and I just cannot imagine anybody else with that level of loyalty and trust and self-awareness to know his own best interest despite himself, and to creatively find a way of overcoming his generosity. You didn't need to be his best friend to be touched by his sunny personality, and living with him was such a breeze. I don't remember in the 4 years Uttam, Ajoy, and I ever having a single argument or altercation. And I know that absence of altercation was not down to my personality, but his. And I very much miss our monthly roommate dinners. You've heard of this from so many people, but he was one of those few people who never lost his innocence. The child in him always remained, even not in law school and not after law school. We didn't call each other every month, called each other every year, at least, and would make an effort to see if we could. He visited me here in Oxford when he was in the UK. We spent some time together, and at least from a distance, what the Ajoy I saw was no different from the Ajoy I knew in law school in my very first term, when, having somehow reached Calcutta during a super cyclone, it was 3 hours still to my hometown in Raniganj, and the trains were not running. And this is the first 3 months we had barely spoken in that time in law school. Without batting an eyelid, he just invited me home, and I just stayed with him for 2 or 3 nights until I could get home. And I know what it meant for me to be away from home for the first time, and then instead of having to check into a hotel to have a classmate you barely knew take you home and get the loving kindness of his mom. So somebody said that he got his generosity from his upbringing and his family, and I could see in that glimpse that it was absolutely true. You've heard that he did not judge, and he had no hate in his heart. He had no malice. He believed in the fundamental goodness of human beings. And more than that, he believed that good things will happen. And I don't know what he would have had to say today if he was here, but I don't know of a more optimistic person, and which is why this tragedy feels especially cruel to have to happen to somebody, as Shamta said, for whom the glass is always half full, never half empty. He lived in the present. He was spontaneous. He never worried about tomorrow. And again, as Suman said, I think he lived those 41 years more fully than many of us would manage in 82. So yes, Ajoy, well, I'll miss you forever. And, music was a big part of your life. And U2 was your favorite band. Almost every day in our room, you could hear "Wish You Were Here" blaring out. And I really do wish you were here today. I'm going to share an email ID of Sumit Malik in the chat room, in the chat box, who runs SSC Online. They've opened a page for tributes to Ajoy. And this is not necessarily what Karthikeya mentioned. Maybe we should have another page for the class, but he asked me to pass on the message that if anybody wanted to pay tributes to him on the SSC online blog, then they're welcome to email him directly at this email ID. And finally, I want to mention that Harsha reminded me just now, and obviously it'll be a great thing. We instituted a scholarship in Michael's memory, and I think it'll be an amazing thing to do to keep Ajoy's memory alive by thinking about that as one of many ways we want to memorialize his amazing life. I have some other people on my list now. Rahul, I believe you've joined us again. Did you want to speak? Rahul Sharma?
Nah, Arnab, I'm okay. You guys have spoken. I don't think I have anything to add.
Thanks, Rahul. Vinay?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I was not a close friend of Ajoy's, but I mean, I can very confidently say that I was really fond of him, and right now, apart from the grief, also is the regret that you know, a regret of not having known him as well as some. He clearly was absolute gem, and I remember in Ganga Hostel, we used to go and listen to music on Shinoj's computer. He had a computer in second or third year, and I used to keep telling Ajoy that by fifth year I learned to play Sultans of Swing on the guitar, and I never did that. And yesterday Tarunab asked me if I can play Wish You Were Here today on my guitar. Then I found out that my guitar is missing 2 strings. So then I've let him down again. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know him well, but I'll still miss him a lot.
Thank you very much, Vinay. Is there anyone else who would like to say anything? Well, thank you all very much for joining us and for sharing your stories. And, oh, is Arun here? Arun Shankar, do you want to speak?
Yeah, I don't know if he wants to speak.
Okay. Well, thank you all very much. I will. I hope.
Arnab, can we all just have a moment of silence collectively for Ajoy before we
Yes,
end?
absolutely. That is exactly what I was hoping to do, Namita. Thank you. thank you all very much, and stay safe wherever you are, and may Ajoy's memory continue to make us better human beings. I hope I've not completely messed up the recording. If anybody else has also done a recording, please share the link, and I will also share what I've got. Thanks all, and bye-bye. And finally, our deepest condolences to his sister and his mom and his fiancée.
Thanks, Yatana.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Everyone, take care.
Thank you.